puts it up. Michael Jordan for the tie. Got it! Unbelievable! Dreams to come true. This is March Madness.
We welcome all of you to downtown Denver, Colorado. And the final game of 4 here in the Mile High City. Southeast region, Gonzaga against St. John's. Winner of this one, and we expect it to be a good one, will advance to take on Brigham Young University here in Denver on Saturday. Good evening, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with the coach, Bill Raftery. St. John's, as you know, has had a magical season, but they will have to play this game without one of their best players, DJ Kennedy.
Yeah, it's really a shame. He's such a talented kid, but they do have somebody that's pretty talented. You're Hale, I'm Hardy. Well, Dwight is very good. They moved him to the point, Vern. It changed the year for St. John's. He's got a great feel of when to go to the rim, when to step back, and when to get others involved. He is a tough player, solid performer.
How's this for consistency? Under Mark Few, Gonzaga's in the tournament for the 13th straight year. They've got a couple of good players themselves. Stephen Gray, Robert Sacre.
Stephen Gray's an outstanding performer with the bounce. I love him in that wing position. He can spread out and make threes, but he's also creative. Finds the lane for himself or others, but the big fella looms large. He's a great target. Robert Sacre, a stud down there. He can fill it up. Send it in, big fella.
Gonzaga's won 9 in a row. St. John's in the tournament for the first time in a while. Back with the lineups. Gonzaga head coach Mark Few in his 12th season at the school from Spokane. And the starting lineup for the Zags, who've won 9 in a row, coming in. Dimitri Goodson, Marquise Carter, Stephen Gray, Elias Harris, and Robert Sacre. And for St. John's University, Dwight Hardy, Paris Horn, Sean Evans, Dwayne Coley, unusual to see a freshman in the lineup, isn't it? And Justin Brownlee. And the head coach in his first year, and what a year it has been, Steve Lavin.
Well, the speed of the game. Lav with the sneakers on the sideline, he's ready to play. They will try and ginger it up, attack Gonzaga, make them uncomfortable, and counter that with Gonzaga will run, but they like to run some coordinated offense on the other end. But the one thing about St. John's, they rush you into tough shots. They're very aggressive and athletic.
This game is brought to you in HD TV by LG. Life's good. The officiating crew led by Scott Thornley, Tony Green, and JT Orr. Gonzaga from the state of Washington. St. John's from the state of Queens.
You're right. A big area.
Yes, one of the boroughs, of course, in New York City. And we are set to go. Well, we've had 3 really competitive games here in Denver, and no reason to expect this will be anything but. Sacre. All these seniors for St. John's, hoping that they can get it back into the NCAA, and they have accomplished that task. There's a lot yet to be done.
The Zags, good.
Here's Dwight Hardy, number 12. Paris Horn, number 23, guarded by Marquise Carter.
Now, forcing St. John's to be patient will be very helpful to Gonzaga. Only would tee it up deep. How about that? He can raise some people outside. Plays with a lot of confidence. These guys have been hit hard during their career. They're hitting back.
Dimitri Goodson has the ball in his hands, number 3. Here's Stephen Gray.
Nice pass.
Oh, what a find. And the basket attempt is short. Here's Coley.
Harris got to finish that for. They will establish big. Robert Sacre, one of those guys who's got to post up strong. Gonzaga counter that. St. John's will force them to stay on the perimeter.
Paris Horn and Coley, out of California, by the way, number 0.
Big time recruit, great elevation.
Player of the year in Los Angeles as a senior, something his dad accomplished in the early 80s. Does the basket count?
I think they did. They'll score it. Just a little late step in by Goodson. But when you can make a shot outside, you can see Harris bites on it. And Brownlee, why not throw it up? Somebody may help.
Justin Brownlee, who averages 12 per game, has a chance to pick up another. Nope. Brownlee with the first 5 for St. John's.
And here they extended up three-quarter court pressure. He got him over the top and attack.
Marquise Carter, Sacre calls for it. Pushed out of the way by Sean Evans.
Nice ball movement.
Gray. Oh, wonderful. What a nice pass.
That is a lot of preparation. And the big guy right under the tin. Looming large.
Elias Harris with the assist. And Gonzaga's on the board. Jumper, horn, yes. What a start for St. John's.
Where they play with such confidence. They've got a healthy swagger about them, Vern. I believe you did the Duke game.
I did.
If I'm not mistaken. That was exhibited that day.
Well, that was a sellout crowd at Madison Square Garden. And here from the corner is Gray with an answer.
Boy, this looked like a high-level performance.
8-5. Evans.
Forceful. Physical player. Getting the chance. Stepping in. You mentioned Kennedy not able to play. This kid is taking advantage of the minutes.
And the foul is on Stephen Gray. That's going to send Evans to the line. One more. Here's DJ Kennedy, torn ACL during the Big East tournament. Another of the seniors, 9 of whom on this team, they're 10 in all, 9 of whom have been contributors in a big way throughout the season. And Kennedy's year has come to a close.
I had a chance to chat with him. Just a tough kid through a lot of adversity.
Sacre gets his own miss and jams it through.
That's what makes him such a force. They can't match up with him.
Now Paris Horn, 10-7 St. John's lead. Opening moments from Denver, Colorado. Winner gets BYU on Saturday.
Nice ball movement, ball reversal.
Pull back, Hardy no. Stephen Gray has it, number 41.
Well, they will push it if they can get a nice open look.
There's the shot. Off the glass. Well, Marquise Carter.
And I was talking to Mark Few the other night about him. He really has become a confident player from earlier in the year.
Junior from San Diego. Now Brownlee says, let's get this thing in the hands of Dwight Hardy. Illegal pass. Gray out defensively on it.
He's more of an in-the-lane kind of a shooter. A little too close. And he gets the break here on the penetration. They give it to Robert Sacre.
Yes. I'm really, we've reached almost 4 minutes into the game and we've not yet said Sacre blue.
I'm saving it for later. The way he's ducking it, we may have to come up with it.
Every tournament game is live online on your phone, iPhone, I beg your pardon, or iPad with NCAA March Madness on demand. For details, go to mmod.ncaa.com.
Only one of those guys, if he steps into a three, can make. He's going to get a little blow now. They change the look of their team now with Malik Booth coming in.
And Poley is out. Malik Booth, the smallest of the Johnnies, number 3.
And now we're in the game now. A terrific outside shooter, can post up. He's got a great left hook, and they like to run high-low with him. Leave him underneath, holding off. He's in great position if they miss.
Whoops. Shot clock at 5. Up and under, Dower, yes.
And Mark Fugia says he radiates confidence in the offensive end. They don't get back.
Horn and 1.
What a challenge. Transition. Absolutely gorgeous by St. John's. Make you pay. You got to get vision on it. You got to get back and establish. This team can blow by with the best of them. A little hang time out of Queens. Count it.
And thank you, Ernie. Cincinnati, Missouri going on in Washington. The winner will take on the Huskies of UConn. And what a magical run they had in the Big East tournament, winning 5 in 5 days.
We can't go to dinner 5 days in a row. These kids teed it up every day. Amazing.
Missed free throw.
And Walker just sensational.
This has been a high-level game, as you mentioned during the break. No turnovers. 4.5 minutes in. And Gonzaga has hit 5 of 8 from the field. St. John's 4 of 5.
This is not a passive zone. This is not your father's old attack. This is just aggression. Look him out, challenge shots, force you to penetrate and pinch.
Oh, Elias Harris.
He's good. This kid, again, the two wings like Gray and himself can use the dribble or step out. They are tough weapons.
And that is the first lead of the night for Gonzaga on Harris's three-pointer.
Keep attacking if you're St. John's. Don't settle deep. This is like a wide open job. They are letting them stay outside. You notice that? Sag it off a little bit.
Malik Booth, Brownlee. Boy, he's had the hot hand. That's his first miss. Short with a three-pointer. Slip. Nice retrieval.
Pretty look here.
There you go.
What a read.
How about Gray?
Yep, he sees everything. Nothing gray about his game.
Senior from Bainbridge Island, Irondale by name. Take another look at the line.
Just knowing where people are. Once you push the ball up quickly and you address the zone before they're organized, and just the confidence to make that. They played so many tough games. Gray and Harris just have a wonderful feel and understanding of when to do it.
Foul was called on Sean Evans. Justin Burrell has come on the floor now for St. John's. Sophomore, or senior rather, out of the Bronx.
More straight up man right now. They can run their normal sets. He can make that shot. Nice look again. And a foul. Well, they've got them turned around defensively. That time Brownlee got caught on the wrong side. Just great recognition. Giving it up, Dower not wasting any time. And look at that to that baseline side. Just extraordinary release.
Harris, the sophomore, at the line.
Mark Few doesn't mind going international, does he?
No, he does not.
They have done some job bringing kids in from all over the world.
And Harris, born and raised in Germany. He has mined the Canadian gold mine a few times, too. Spent Sacre from Vancouver.
A very modest, extraordinary coach, wouldn't you say?
I think, I really believe that Mark Few is among the 5 best coaches in college baseball. I just think he's outstanding.
Look at this, nobody covers, but it's tough. You don't lead somebody, you throw it to them. On that particular play by Goodson.
There's Mark. He's
just
carved out a pretty good life for himself in Spokane.
He loves it out there. Of course, does a great job for Coaches versus Cancer. With his wife Marcy, very involved with their family. Of course, you met his dad yesterday.
Well, his father, Norman Barber here.
Yeah. They're praying for him. Got some divine intervention to match the.
The only thing that Mark Few and I have in common is we're both preacher's kids. Kickball. Best winning percentage among active coaches. That's a pretty decent list, isn't it?
Nice array of guys,
yeah.
let me tell you. He just keeps putting it together. And, you know, he's out of the John Chaney School, too. He played everybody during his career. December and early January. They need to tee it up and get some ready for this time.
Here's Horn.
Sagan almost forcing him to shoot it deep. This is what they got on the inside.
Yeah, Burrell backed in. Offensive foul.
Burrell, a tough kid to post up. Nice drop step. Just got too much contact. Pretty good defensive sell here as well. Wow, goodness. He started to fall before the wind blew.
And a foul's going to be called.
They're going to keep it on this side. No foul.
No foul. Okay.
How about the job Lav's done? Out of the broadcast booth, he got calls. I never got a call.
Come on. That one's good and one. Yes.
They are doing a nice job getting into the right spots inside. And that's where you can pound them and set up your outside game. St. John's got to do the same thing on the other side. Talked about making good decisions. A terrific pass earlier by Harris. How about this fortuitous release? Great follow through.
And Harris back at the line. Gonzaga has opened up an 8-point lead with a 10-0 run.
I mentioned Steve, his dad, Cap. Great name in San Francisco, the Bay Area. So proud of what he's been able to do. Basketball legend in the Hall of Fame there in San Francisco.
Yeah, he's not at the game. Decided not to make the trip. Watch on television instead. Gray with the steal and the layup.
Speed, read, and also scouting. And right now, Steve Lavin trying to gather his guys, relax it.
Time call. St. John's. Johnny's got off to a 5-0 start, but Gonzaga has come back with a fury. They're 9 of 12 from the field, including 3 of 3 from downtown. Points in the paint, and the rebounding edge right now is 8 for Gonzaga, 1 for St. John's.
And the concern of the Gonzaga staff was how this pressure was going to affect them of St. John's, but their interior passing, their deployment has been terrific. Counter that, I think St. John's has to get something going to the rim a little bit. A little post up, they had the one charge in low, maybe get some touches somehow.
Malik Stiff, the sophomore out of Hempstead, New York, is on the floor. Brownlee, this is Stiff, number 31.
Nelly Coker in the game now. He's a physical kind of a player, maybe some offensive rebound, some screening. That's him with the duck in, but good job by Dower.
Shot clock at 6. Horn trying to create a shot, does so off the glass.
That's not bad.
No.
Didn't settle deep. And that sets up their pressure, too. That's something that they rely on.
And that puts the plug in a 12-0 run by Gonzaga.
Nice activity by Gray off the screen. Nice curl. Harris set him up.
Back to a 10-point edge.
Very simple approach by Gonzaga, but extremely effective.
Here's Stiff, jumper, 18 feet, and he's got it.
Nice find, though, huh? Gonzaga passing the ball great. 10 field goals, 8 assists for her. That's sharing it, isn't it? Same set, box set, pin down. Now they're in the zone look again. Really have to communicate well in this zone.
From the corner, no. Rebound, Paris Horn for St. John's. Horn will change the pace. And Gray takes it away from Stiff.
Good job defensively, too. Nice little reach in.
We near the midway point of the first half. And again, St. John's in the tournament for the first time since 2002. Gonzaga in for the 13th straight year. Is that important?
I think it is. I think there's something to be said for it. But St. John's coming in at such a high level. They played so well down the stretch. But they're just decimated with good passing. Dower here couldn't finish with the right. Good passing, something Mark Few was concerned about.
Brownlee picks up the foul. That's his second. Steve Lavin in his first year at St. John's, Chapman College graduate. And of course, that's a reference to the fact that he coached at UCLA on the left coast so successfully until a bad year when he was let go. At St. John's. Best finish at UCLA, a regional final. And of course, this is now a familiar look. Lavin with the open collar and the new sneakers. It started on Coaches versus Cancer Awareness Day. Ironically, that was against Duke. They won. Steve told us yesterday, no. This has nothing to do with superstition. It has everything to do with comfort. I can breathe easier without the tie, and I walk easier with the new sneaks.
He elevates. He got up high in the garden. He got a defensive stand. I think it's really so Gene Katie has an easier time getting up and down over there. But he has brought life to New York. College basketball is alive and well. A lot of it, there's the old coach. What a great mentor for any young coach. His success at Purdue has been chronicled. Amazing.
But he is a special assistant after retiring at Purdue, and he gave Steve Lavin his first job. And living in a hotel in New York City now.
And the restaurants are very happy he got that job.
I got to tell you, it's a long way from West Lafayette to New York.
He's loving every minute of it, though.
Yes, he is.
Let's see what they come out of the timeout. Usually some sort of good pen, and there it is. They got a little slip pass to Coker.
Foul is on David Stockton, who is on the floor. Yes, John's son. And David was a walk-on. He and Mike Hart, both given scholarships, must weigh all of 150.
And he's not just a pretty face. He knows how to play.
Yes.
He's the toughness like his dad. Great passer. Great feel for the game. Keeps the ball up on the break. Shortens the floor.
Here's Hardy.
Good job by him. Stockton.
And Stockton,
No,
let's see. And there's John. The family, the Stockton family in retirement, living in Spokane. Of course, he's a Gonzaga grad. Mark Few told us a wonderful story how he's now coaching John's son, David. John Stockton is coaching Mark Few's 5th grader, AJ.
And I hope Mark is as calm at a game as John is. I think that's stuffing at your own.
Basket interference was the call.
Always gives it up at the right time. He's got those one-handed passes like his dad as well. You'll see occasionally on post entries or slips.
Here's Stockton with Brownlee on it. Wow.
That's that zone, you know, they juxtaposition people.
Made him look like a Lilliputian with Gulliver clothes.
Because, well, they got 3 seconds, unusual. Kelly Owen, if I'm not mistaken. But he's got a puzzled look. They have some big subs, and they can mix lineups. That's what makes Mark Few's guys very tough to beat. You're going to be at your best, and they are playing great basketball coming down the stretch.
Well, you would never say that the Gonzaga team is mediocre, but they were having a really difficult season until 9 games ago.
Steps.
Wow. Oh, no. Olenek gets the rebound, puts it in the hands of Stockton.
Pretty good strength and poise there, wasn't it? Sacre really loads up if they can get it to him at the right time.
Double comes from Hardy on Sacre.
Pretty pass.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice look. This team has a nice feel for one another. They just do the right things. Carter that time.
And the lead is 12. Gonzaga.
Now we've seen some terrific interior passing. Generally, when you put your ball that far over your head, the defense can make a move, get there quickly, but high enough for Olenek at almost 6'10" to convert easily.
Points in the paint, 16-2.
Nice to see you back here in Denver. Everybody,
it's almost a home game. Yeah. Steamboat Springs, 165 miles.
Yeah, it's to see
northwest.
See your bride Nancy here, and a lot of your old friends coming up. You had a lot of tickets to give away.
Oh, goodness. This is Scott Thornley. He reminded there was a memorable occasion in the Meadowlands. Scott came over a while ago in the tournament. He was refereeing, and he popped a button off of his pants.
Wow, and you were the seamstress?
No.
Interesting to observe.
It was 1999. I was working a game with Al McGuire. You can imagine the descriptive tones of Al McGuire on that occasion.
I can imagine. Look at the side. Whoops,
Oh, he traveled. No, he didn't.
no, he just picked it up.
Okay,
Look,
all right.
stop.
Yep.
The right pass.
Yes.
Look at these kids. Nice hustle.
Sacre finds Olenek.
Boy, they are finding people. A little toughness. St. John's matched at that time. Just didn't come up with it clean. I mentioned his dad, Cap, of course, played for Pete Newell and Phil Wolf, 2 Hall of Famers out there on the West Coast.
CBSSports.com has improved its award-winning fantasy baseball game to make it even better in 2011. Choose from 3 game styles today at CBSSports.com/baseball. In and out, missed the second. Sean Evans picks it up.
Hard ones come up with that.
Booth slapped away.
Nothing there. Wow. Very good evading the charge.
Here's Hardy. And a blocking foul is going to be called on Gonzaga, David Stockton. 7:49 to go in the first half. Gonzaga up by 11 in Denver, Colorado. Already here in Denver today, we've had a 13 seed and a 12 seed win. Gonzaga, because they have shared the basketball so well, leading by 11.
And what they do is they 5 times a game they get outnumbered in assists the opponent. They find people. They're very unselfish. Obviously, you make shots, it certainly helps. But the interior, they've been terrific. 9 assists on 11 field goals, and they spread it around. It's just not the point guard.
And as a result, 31-20 with 7:49. Now Dwight Hardy at the line. One shot.
However, St. John's is taking a hit, and now they can get some poise and balance, get their defense set, see if they can churn it up, get some handoffs, and go the other way.
The margin 10.
Always the danger with a team that shoots well. If you go over the top, you can get some drive, open look.
Dimitri Goodson back on the floor. Stephen Gray, number 41.
Shuffle cut, ball screen, and then the roll for the hole. Don't take advantage of Robert Sacre.
Take the open 3, no.
Look at this.
Sacre.
He posted up, shaped up, and on the shot spun out and got inside offensive position. Solid.
Coming up on AT&T at the half, scores and highlights, the latest tournament news, and a Naismith watch presented by AT&T. That's all on the agenda. AT&T at the half. Burrell has just picked up his 3rd foul, which means Coker is coming back in the game.
Well, this kid makes free throws. 83%. Robert Sacre. Solid. What a body for basketball. Usually when they look at us, they say, what a body.
Understandably.
This is some frame. And on cue, nothing.
Yes. Evans, Harris Horn, number 23. Malik Stiff, number 31.
Bubble screen on the other side. Lock low.
This game coming to you, of course, on CBS. We begin our 14-year collaboration. That one short. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be Gonzaga ball.
I think Delly Coker come over the top, and he did knock it out. You're right.
As we were mentioning, you can see all games in their entirety on any of 4 networks: CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV.
When we had that shot of Steve Lavin over there, I'm always thinking about Louis Condeseca. He's sort of bringing back the same pizzazz to the city. Everybody excited about their program, what he's been able to do. There's Luke on the second, one of the legends in the game, Hall of Famer.
Well, Steve Lavin's former team playing very well, the game being seen on TBS. They are leading over Michigan State 44-26. Ben Howland, he's another creature skill player.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
They are playing well of late, too. Teams continue to improve at the end of the year. They are tough ones to match up with in the tournament.
Michigan State's Tom Izzo, if he's never taken a drink, he's going to after this year.
Well, pretty good non-call, too, but you got to finish that at the St. John's.
Back outside to Stephen Grab.
Empty side. He can elevate now. Oh, not a good look.
No.
Olynyk couldn't get turned.
Sean Evans got in the way of the pass. And there is Marquise Carter knocking that one out of bounds. Substitution, Evans out, Brownlee back with 6:17 to go in the first half. St. John's out of the Big East. Gonzaga out of the West Coast Conference. They knocked off St. Mary's. That was really the turning point, Mark Hughes said, was when they lost to St. Mary's and they got it all together. And new resolve. That was in regular season is what I'm talking about.
Started over is what he said.
Yeah.
They just say, let's begin again as Hardy gets on track. Every kiss number, all of a sudden, hey, it's a new beginning. Let's try these things. Be basic, get organized for the next team.
Olynyk back outside. Under 6 to go first half. We had a torrid start to there's the cut from Sacre out of bounds and a turnover.
Nice play though, wasn't it?
Yes.
All he had to do was lead him just a little. Olynyk with a little behind.
Olynyk gets a rest. Elias Harris back on the floor.
I'd like to see Hardy get going now. This kid's a dynamite offensive player, running the point. As we noted on the open, his running the point has really changed this team because he can score and still get others involved.
Back outside to Hardy. Rejected. Fingers pointing every direction.
Good. You got the right one there.
Yep.
Green right on top of it. Finding it very hard to score, St. John's.
Spin move. No, another miss.
What a great job by Goodson, though. Moved, gave ground, and then held ground. Here's where they exchange sides, shuffle, and then the ball screen again.
Jumper.
He's amazing. I've seen a couple of times that he goes off the wrong foot. I think he did against St. Mary's at the end of the half.
He started the last 9 during the win streak, and as a starter for Carter, his team is 11-1. Horn. They can't buy a basket all of a sudden.
A pretty good D, too. Elias Harris came up to help.
Gray.
A little bit of a push-off. Harris got away with that.
Here's Gray one more time.
And look at the load up in the lane. Look at this.
Another offensive board. Sacre. 19 rebounds to 8. And back outside Carter. Wow.
What hands to knock that down by Carter. But what a well-designed play and a great counter by St. John's. There they go. They are great wing drivers. Harris and Gray.
Shot clock did not change. Mark Few was arguing that it hit the rim.
Some excitement around it. You better come tough and armed. Negation at the rim and pretty good hands for the steal.
watching this game. Jimmer Fredette, who scored 32 points in the win over Wofford. What do you like about this game?
You know, both teams are very talented. They have a lot of big guys, and they play a lot of people. Coach Lavin, I'm sure, is going to get these guys fired up and, you know, make a run. But Gonzaga's playing great right now. So both teams that we play is going to be a tough matchup, but we're just looking forward to playing them.
When I came over, you were going through all your texts. You've been hearing from a lot of people?
Yeah, definitely hearing from a lot of people back home at BYU and then back home in Glens Falls, New York. So everybody around here is watching this. It's an NCAA tournament, so, you know, everybody's watching. They're having fun with it, and so are we.
Well, congratulations to you so far. Over to you, Vern.
All right, thank you, Jimmer Fredette. And, of course, they took, BYU did, they played a game in his hometown this year at Glens Falls against Vermont. It's not far from Vermont. And Tom Brennan, the former coach of Vermont, who was here doing radio, said, I couldn't get a ticket. There were 6,000 people there, and they were all BYU fans, and the place exploded every time Fredette got the basketball.
Pretty exciting, because I know Tom Brennan. He would have talked his way in somehow. He really wanted to go. But how about the defensive surge there? Great steal by Gray. They ended up with a layup, and then St. John's able to counter with the deep one. They need some stops right now, the last 2:20. Look, that's too
what
easy.
a pass.
Too easy.
Oh, my goodness.
Sacre, that's a 20-foot pass. No denial in the post area. Great shape up and the big wide frame.
Gonzaga rolling. Mark Few up and encouraging his team. Under 2 to go. Hardy. Yep.
He just knows the game. They got to get back and set. They do. Should let it
Here's
go.
Hardy. Harris. Yeah, he did.
Smart.
Yeah. Yep.
One of those, you don't want to make it a three-point play. And right now, a good solid run by St. John's to get themselves within 10.
1:26 to go before halftime. Back in Denver Southeast Region second round game, the Zags leading the Johnnies by 10, but a 7-2 St. John run. You see the t-shirts, do it for DJ, reference DJ Kennedy, the senior. Solid player for St. John's. Torn ACL during the Big East tournament, out for the year.
Yeah, coach from Chevy High School, Juan Blair's teammate. They were texting back and forth, commiserating. Got a great attitude there, rooting for his team, giving as much encouragement as possible. They've got to catch that one.
David Stockton tried to find Sacre and he couldn't hang on to it. And another opportunity for St. John's, offensive foul.
Well, let's make it up for the fumble at the other end, right?
Yes.
Robert with that big body offering it up. He inflicts punishment when he steps in. And this is nice when you got support like that. That secondary defender with a great read. Great knows enough that the big fella's going to loom.
Inside the final minute. And after a 5-0 start, it's been pretty much all Gonzaga, and it continues to be. Stephen Gray with the three.
He's not just an actor.
Poker, offense.
That's tough. That's tough. When he had a right to come down. I just love their two wings, Harris and Gray. I think they do so much for this team where they can move in and out, make deep shots, post up, dribble drive, be creative.
Stockton fires at the Harris. Sacre. Coker puts a big body on it and got it.
That's when you got to inflict a little punishment. That's his game. You got to counter.
8 Gonzaga turnovers now. Final shot of the first half, I think, was coming.
Got to come get it. I thought Hardy might come out and get it.
Brownlee.
They're stuck. They're stuck.
Yeah, they are. Oh! Yes! At the buzzer. They'll check it. But I'm 99% sure that one was good.
Well, I wondered about the 2 or 3. I think he got into the 2 here.
It was 2.
But he started the half big time, and that's a big time finish for the deuce, and that was the call, the proper one.
One more look.
You're always looking for motivation. That may do it.
That's for 2. Leslie's with Mark Few.
Coach, a pretty awfully well played first half. How were you able to attack their zone and have all that interior passing?
We're making simple plays. I mean, that's what you have to do against it. You got to play on the ground, make simple plays. I think they're doing a nice job of swinging it. It's only 20 minutes. I mean, they can really turn up the heat, as they did just right there and scoring bunches. So we got to do a better job of getting back in transition.
Great, thanks, Coach. Good luck second half.
All right, Leslie, thank you. 43-32 at the half. We'll send you to AT&T at the half. After these messages, Gonzaga putting on a show. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
Leslie Visser back in Denver with Coach Lavin. Coach, they were able to attack you inside almost so easily.
I'll say.
Yeah. What adjustment do you need to make?
Well, 21-8 on the boards, and they had 20 points in the paint. So we have to do a better job of our help side defense and moving in the direction of the pass. Also against their press, they were able to throw over the top of it, and then we were stretched out defensively. So we got to drop in more to the paint or the basket area. Easier said than done, but because they shoot the ball well too.
Well, you've had 6 second-half comebacks this year. Good luck to you. Back to you, Vern.
All right, thanks, Leslie. Steve Lavin sounds like an analyst.
I think he's done that for a living. I think a little upset, maybe shot selection, not reversing the ball like and they're not getting baskets off the turnovers. 9 turnovers by Gonzaga, and just struggling to convert at the other end.
Oh my goodness, knocked out of Sacre's hands by Paris Horn. Here comes Dwight Hardy. Hardy backs it up. Poli picked up by Stephen Gray. And one. What a start to open the second half now.
How about that for the rookie, huh? That empty side going left. Everybody thinking he's going to take the screen, refuses it. And a lot of guys cheat to it, as Gray did. And that floater, what a dynamite weapon.
Poli is only a 59% free throw shooter over the course of the season, and he's not been at the line much. This will be his 23rd attempt. 1-2.
I think that's 5 points in a row. You think the 2 at the end of the half.
That's
and
right.
Coming right back out, so they got a little life in their game right now, St. John's.
And a single-digit deficit. Largest lead is 15 at 38-23.
And this is where it happens to this team. They pressure you into a tough shot. Do a good job sealing for rebounding. And look at Sacre.
Yes, indeed.
He is such a big guy. You got to lead him across. Here he comes again.
Harris, 3.
Well, what did Steve Lavin just say? They shoot it so well. It's difficult. I mean, they just stretch you out. Terrific managing of the ball.
Brownlee off the dribble. And Harris with the rebound. Stephen Gray.
Oh, pretty good gamble. Got to recover now.
Poli. There's the line and another 3.
That softens up everything now. You've got them on a string for the drive, for the post-up. It's terrific spreading to the floor.
And Gonzaga able to answer with 2 threes. So what had been a single-digit margin is no longer. Hardy using the screen, takes the jumper. Yes, that's for 3.
He is tough. And not only the shot, but the leadership, getting to the rim. A legend in New York City.
Yeah.
Much like you are in Steamboat. For different reasons.
There you are. There's Evans up with the rebound. Well, Hardy took the circuitous route to get to St. John's. Most recently at junior college in Ottumwa, Iowa.
Which really helped his game, though. Worked on his shooting there, I'm told. Spent hours in the gym. He played Bikes, the Marquette player. How about this?
Stephen Gray.
The clinic. Where's the money ball?
My gosh.
A lot of guys who settle for it, they say, well, it's fool's gold.
Right.
But they got the other aspects of the game, too. You know, they got power and bounce.
We'll mark this one. They're 7 of 10 on 3 points. 3-pointers. That's above average. Brown. There's Harris. Forces him to take an unusual shot, and Evans.
Nice steal here.
Good ball.
Good read.
Here's Horn spotting up for an open look for 3.
That would have been big.
What was it Mark Few said about Stephen Gray? He's the most interesting player he's coached.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons, on and off the floor. A thespian, a world traveler, culturally influenced, or influencing culturally. Just the way he thinks things out, right? He's having a little trouble getting organized now on this trip. Same thing, empty side.
Look who's there. Defensively.
Yep. Nice look here.
Beautiful. And Evans bumps in.
What a read, huh? Carter out the open floor. Nice look.
Back in Denver, let's take a look at the Infinity Coaches Spotlight, and we shine it on Mark Few with justification. 12 years as a head coach. They've been in the tournament every year. They've won 20 games each year. Mark Few has found a home in Spokane. I said, are your parents here? He said, yeah, Norm and Barb have made the trip. His dad, Reverend Norm, yeah, there we go.
Oh, he's got the lollipop going.
Yeah, Norm and Barb have served in a Presbyterian church in Creswell, Oregon. He's been in the same pulpit for 54 years, and he's going to retire in mid-June.
What did Mark say to us? He wished he had a few new jokes.
Yeah, that's right.
He starts each sermon with a little joke. I said, are they any good? He said, well, the congregation laughs.
Well, Barb said they have to.
They have no
It's
choice.
expected, right.
You think about that. He's working hard.
He's just made one shining moment.
They both have the same sense of humor.
Yes.
Mark and his dad. I mean, that dry wit, engaging people. Talked about all the work that Marcy and Mark, they've got to get over the timeline with the Coaches versus Cancer, and I think the Reverend gets involved with Barb as well.
15-point Gonzaga lead.
There's a little more clock the last few trips, and not that it's urgent now, but getting good ones is absolutely necessary. And by the way, Dan Munson always says he was the architect of the Gonzaga program.
Right,
He handed it over to Mark Few. He had a great year in Long Beach State this particular year. They've got a great group of guys. Ray Jack already, Leon Rice. They've really worked hard to get this program where it is. Tough shot.
Yes. Burrell may. Oh, it's going to stay there.
Yeah, Ray Giacoletti on the bench is the Tommy Lloyd, another guy does a lot of the grunt work coming up with some of these outstanding talents.
Well, and the relationship with Steve Lavin goes way, way back when Steve was an assistant at UCLA. Mark was an assistant at Gonzaga. Giacoletti was a part of that group. Monson.
Mark Turgeon at Oregon.
That's right. Mark Turgeon was there. Head coach in Texas A&M.
There you go. You got to get something going. Now your defense has to respond. Really good presence there. Brownlee just in. Attacking. They've got the speed and quickness to get back in it quickly, and Steve knows that.
Little pressure applied. Paris Horn and Hardy.
Well, this was the one concern of Mark Few, handling this pressure in the open floor.
Well, if you want to find the open man, there he is.
And a nice look by Gray over the top. That's how to attack the zone. And one of the other premier wing people, Harris, able to Euro step to the 10.
Harris with 15 points. Up, short, foul call.
Not a good foul there. I think it was Gray. One of the things you have to do when you make a team pay for the press, go long and then be able to finish at the end. And you really think it might be a charge. I love that step. Ginobili kind of move. College kids are doing, high school kids are doing now.
That's the third foul on Stephen Gray, so yes, he's going to get a rest. Mike Hart comes in. So the third foul picked up with 14:25 remaining. And Poli at the line. That was not a handsome free throw.
No, good check out though.
Gonzaga by 14. They led by 11 at the break.
Burrell did a nice job fighting Robert Sacre. See if he does it again in that post area. You can't feed the big fella. Make it hard for him. Here he comes again. Good job by Burrell. Good offense. Good call. Mark Few was talking about Sacre, one of the great guys at posting up. So much area, his timing, impeccable. There's that upper body strength, and then he curves the derriere. You just can't get around him.
That might be the first time I've ever heard curves the derriere in a broadcast. I'm just saying.
He bends over, he becomes a C, basically.
I see, okay. It's not good when I have to ask for an explanation.
A little life here at St. John's.
Yes. 57-45. Mike Hart, the sophomore from Portland. Spotted. Whoa, my goodness, Harris says no. I'd rather give it to Marquise Carter and let him make the shot.
That's amazing. 37% shooter on the wing. 33 is of the 37. They can add the Zags.
60-45.
Boy, it's tough to cover everybody when you're scrambling. Get those puppies organized and drill them. Unselfish team leads to solid wins. You've been doing it for a while on the sideline.
Well, it's not enough. There's Brownlee from outside. There we go. Gets a three. And it's 60-48 with 13:05 to go. The edge on the boards right now is 26-11.
Decimating them. Big thing is getting stops, trying to get some runouts off of turnovers or bad shots, but Zags have been tough. Here's a great trap. Mark got the timeout.
Yep.
Smart call.
12:48 to go in this one. Winner takes on Brigham Young. That means Jimmer. All right, the winner of that one will take on Florida on Saturday. We're back here in Denver, and I have not had a chance to say happy St. Patty's Day to you.
Well, I'll make the most of it a little later, I assure you.
Well,
but right now, we got business to do.
You're about to set a personal record for longest wait. And by the way, let's take you back to 1975. Remember this?
I remember the coat. I had it on last week.
I must say this, with that coat, you could have hosted Bowling for Dollars.
At the top of the mountain and the wrist of the media. And Poli with the step in pretty. And right now, that's what they need. Points off of stops, runouts, easy goals. And then feed it with better pressure.
David Stockton on the floor. 10-point game. It was 11 at the break.
By the way, did you notice the dark hair?
I did. I noticed.
Did have it.
Well, I wonder. Yes.
That's what coaching does to you.
Delaney goes back on the floor for Gonzaga. Shot clock at 5. Stockton lets it go. And gets the roll.
He knows the game. He really does. I mean, very heady kid. The more you watch tape. And why not, I guess, huh?
Yeah, learned a lot from his dad. Oli, no.
Always give it ahead. Another good one there. A good giveaway.
And the foul's called on David Stockton. That's his third time call. St. John's hitting 48%. That's decent, but Gonzaga staggering 65%, 8 of 11 from 3, and they've owned the boards.
Pounded it. I mean, relentless in their pursuit on both ends of the floor. But able to finish on the offensive end on misses as well. Good overall size, being in the right spot and wanting it. But I just sense a little spark right now in St. John's. They seem to be a little looser on the offensive end, sort of generating some stops and then ensuing runouts. But I'm sure they're happy to see Robert Sacre on the bench. I mean, he just occupies a couple of bodies when he's in there.
So Sacre rests. Olenek and Sam Dower are on the floor. Dower wearing number 35 and with the glasses, the goggles.
And they better not relax on him on the offensive end. It really has some creative moves.
Hardy, no. Loose ball picked up by Marquise Carter. David Stockton with the feet. How about to Olenek? Yep.
And he breaks through, finds, and look at the back here defensively. Yeah, they both good hustle play by Olenek.
Remind you again that April 7th through 10th, CBS Sports will proudly present a tradition unlike any other. The Masters. The Masters.
I love you every day of the week. On Sunday, you're special.
Oh, dear. It's a joy. It's been my privilege. This will be number 28. Wow. Yeah. And, of course, we lost a giant when Frank Chirkinian recently passed away. Frank produced 38 of them.
Some terrific tributes by all of you people, too.
Yeah.
Jim, yourself, amongst many others.
Steal. Carter, the junior out of San Diego.
He's right back on the floor. Great point forward mentality. There's that foul problem.
That one tipped out of bounds by Olenek. Substitution now.
Just looking for a little bit of spark now from the backcourt. Booth stepping in.
By the way, we have not mentioned this, but Louis Carnesecca was going to make the trip, and he had to cancel at the last minute because of an ear infection. So the legend, who's 86, and we're thinking about him as he rests back in New York City.
Yeah, he's the one man, when you say Louis, people smile.
Yep.
It just generates so many great stories about it. Nice move.
Oh, beautiful.
Big
How
time.
about that little yo-yo?
With the left. I mean, that was
Yes.
magnificent. Nice thing. Say it isn't so.
Oh,
push
an
on.
elbow, you bet.
Good call.
Yeah, that left wing.
And he can't believe it. And a nice job there. Dimitri Goodson saying, forget about it. Everybody in the house got the call.
Yeah. Carter didn't understand, but the elbow was pretty obvious. Boom, right there.
Even on St. Patrick's Day, if you have a bad elbow, it hurts everybody.
You are amazing. 10 minutes to go. Oh, gracious.
Pick and pop.
Brownlee, no. And another rebound, great. How about the box out?
That's just beautiful.
Yeah, gee whiz. Poley had no chance.
I mean, it's just not a pretty face out there, the way they're shooting the ball with high percentage. It's solid play. Well schooled. And Mark's got these kids playing the top of their game. Booth with that grab.
How about the rebounding margin is just extraordinary.
So that and the shooting jumps out
Yes.
too, right?
Sacre's back in. And Sam Dower's going to get a rest. Steve Lavin counters by sending Paris Horn back on the floor. Dwight Hardy will be out. Sean Evans is in. And Foley will get a rest.
And I think it's a good move. You get a little rest for Hardy. They're going to make a run. It's going to be the next 7-8 minutes, but not the way this club is scoring it that easy.
Well, this is some shooting exhibition. I mean, they are just dismantling St. John's. Another turnover.
Look at this lead pass. Brady.
Oh, yes.
Just lovely. Goodson streaky. But Gray, the old-fashioned bounce pass. Hit the stick.
Largest lead of the game. It's now at 17.
Double high screen. One rolls, one pops. There's the pop man, Burrell. Boy, they are really having some hard luck lately, too. Steve putting Hardy in the game now. He can't wait much longer.
10 of 12 from the field in this half. Here's Gray for 3 more. Nope.
Quicker to the ball, too, aren't they?
Yes.
They take the wind out of the sails right now. St. John's all standing up on defense. That could be fatigue. Not familiar with the elevation here, too. But the Zags understand runouts and taking advantage of it. I just love this pen. Great lead, run to it, use that rim to shield off and take away the legs from the big guy. Pretty play.
Burrell leaves for St. John's. Hardy back on. Hardy's on. Horn. Sean Evans.
Yeah, we keep mentioning the altitude. You feel that it doesn't affect you. Of course, you're not cycling and mountain climbing.
You noticed.
But you hear it from a lot of teams, don't you?
Yeah.
Over the course of years, some NBA teams as well.
Yes, absolutely. Of course, Brigham Young, it's no problem. And actually, Mark, you said it's not a problem for us. We're at 2,500 feet in Spokane. You know, New York City is sea level. And now they're a mile high.
The team's a mile high, and St. John's is at sea level right now.
And there's Hardy. Loose ball picked up by Gray. There's the bounce pass yet again. No call this time. Clean block. Olynyk muscles his way. There is a foul call. And an update for all of you. Michigan State, Tom Izzo's team, has fought back, and they are trailing by 4 now. That game is on TBS. We're on CBS. It all comes together. The early session average margin of victory around the country, 7.3 points. It has been a little more disparate here in the evening session. The average margin of victory at 19.5. Here in Denver, Jimmer Fredette. Well, I can get away with calling him Jimmy.
So that's
yeah,
right?
32 points and 7 assists. Brigham Young awaits the winner of this game, and if it's Gonzaga, it'll be interesting in this small respect. Brigham Young is going into the WCC in basketball next year. So they will be conference rivals. Olynyk misses.
That steps that conference up quite a bit, don't you think?
Yes, I do.
You mentioned San Francisco's gotten better. Santa Clara has gotten a lot better. Kerry Keating's done a great job up there.
St. Mary's is always good.
Yeah, St. Mary's up top. Portland. All of a sudden, some heavyweights.
7:12 to go. Winner gets BYU on Saturday. Baseline jumper. Good.
Get some steals now. This is have to reach back a little bit.
And another reminder that Michigan State coming back. And they've cut the deficit to 3 with 40 seconds to go. That game is on TBS.
How about Sacre being your pressure release guy? Holds it until you can get it to the lead guard. Nice defense, though. Got to bring it down. He's got to get down on an angle to get it in there.
Sacre.
Sacre to you. Goodness. He started big and strong and just as effective late.
There's the double. Mike Hart gets out quickly, and the shot rims in and out.
That's about the third one, right?
Yes,
third
exactly.
one. But misfortune on.
72-54. St. John's back in the NCAA tournament, first time since 2002. That game later vacated for NCAA violations. And of course, Gonzaga now old hands at this stuff. This is 13 in a row. Mark Few, calm down. Interesting now, on January 27th, this Gonzaga team lost at St. Mary's 73-71. And they were just a middling basketball team. Mark Few said, we are going to score.
And they did. And everybody bought in. A refresher course. And I'm just thinking, you had mentioned before, John Stockton coaching his son's team and all, and saying, you know, they teach you to pass ahead, quick stop, they dribble between chairs. And this team reminds a lot of that, just hard work, fundamentally sound, the way they're playing now in particular.
Jumper, three, yes. Hardy, timeout, St. John's. Because that three just got the margin to 50. Check out the Powerade Ion 4-point performance ranking system to get a peek into the science behind tournament success. See where your team ranks at ncaa.com/Powerade.
Mark Few was rightfully concerned about the speed and length of St. John's. They have diffused it with sound, post-up, good passing, and St. John's, let's see if they can get re-energized and get themselves claw back. Plenty of time. 5-second violation would be perfect. I mean, that would be one.
Yep, timeout called by Gonzaga. They lead it by 15. BYU had a tussle with Wofford, the Terriers out of Spartanburg, but they prevailed late in the game and they advanced as a third seed. They'll take on the winner of this one. And meanwhile, 1 point. Michigan State UCLA with 14 seconds to go. The winner of that one takes on Florida.
Everybody in the right spot for this team. Get in the guard's hands to speed dribble ultimately. John Thompson used to run this set along the foul line when he was in the delay game. They get into a post-up situation.
That's for three. Rebound, Brownlee, it's saved, and Hardy is fouled.
Oh, what a bad foul.
By Marquise Carter.
And what a nice spin out by Hardy. He knew exactly where his guy was and how much distance he had to that sideline. Pretty. Well, you've got to really have your wits about you with the speed of players. They're just a way, proper way of getting free. Make two, it's 13. Vern all of a sudden looking to get you D set.
One more. Not sure what the official was talking to Sacro.
I think they may have teed it up a little bit on that side there.
Okay.
You know? A little preliminary skirmish.
Be a heavyweight bout.
Boy, I'm sure on one side it may be.
All right, Hardy shoots one more.
Got a pretty good speed team in here now. Poli playing the midfield.
Yep, there's Poli, Hardy, Horn, Gray for Gonzaga, and a foul on Malik Booth.
Stretching it out.
Another of the seniors out of Queens. That is only the 16th foul on St. John's. And so Stephen Gray will inbound, gets it in the hands of Dimitri Goodson.
Sacre rolls and then bangs and banks. He can make a lot of money on the street, huh? Goodness, he is such a great target.
Hardy lost control of it, out of bounds, turnover, yeah.
tough. That same hand change he tried to go to. Pretty good handle generally.
4:29 remaining. 72-59.
St. John's wasn't ready on that inbounds at all.
Sacre out on the perimeter. Here's Stephen Gray.
Sacre didn't even look for that. Not a good look here by Gray. That's twice now. The entry on the wing, he didn't do a good job, but he's too talented.
Foreign miss. Put back. Poli.
And guess what? Knocking on the door.
72-61. And St. John's calls timeout. .3:48 to go. Carter, what a burst.
And a nice screen off by Sacre as well.
And it's back to 13 points now as we near the 3.5-minute mark.
That was good one by Goodson. That far from the goal. Stop the clock.
Time has been called. Timeouts. They've committed 8 fouls. St. John's has the possession arrow. They also have 2 timeouts. 6 fouls given. 13-point margin with 3:37 to go.
It's all about energy right now for St. John's and poise for Gonzaga.
Harris Horn at the line. Look at Harris get up.
They all, they go with those 2 hands. And you mentioned the wings handling the ball like they did just there. Look at this, and the catch.
Oh, rejected. Burrell. Sacre fights for it. And another foul called.
I think just out of bounds.
Oh, out of bounds.
Yes.
Okay.
He pointed at the individual.
Yes.
Made you feel that way. Oh, boy, how about the negation at the rim? Well, Sacre's had a few of those tastes. With his own look now. 3-2. Do that periodically.
Off the glass and no good. Here's Gray.
He didn't want to give it to Robert Sacre. Had to.
Whistle. Foul. Malik Booth. That's 4. Under 3 to go now. 74-61. The winner will get Brigham Young University here in Denver on Saturday. Tonight, Dave's got basketball legends Shaquille O'Neal plus Tim McGraw tonight on The Late Show. And then catch Craig.
Woody Carter's had a nice ball game, hasn't he? Marquise has done a lot of good things.
One of several.
Yeah, you're right.
We've had
good team play.
Yes, indeed.
First mistake, Sacre. He tripped on the foul line.
That one good for St. John's. Carter has 18 points, by the way. There's a pressure applied.
And look who's in the backcourt. The 2 wings. Making good decisions. Good handle.
Two and a half. Gray. Nope. Foley saves it for St. John's.
Got to get it to your quick hitters.
Foul called. Little Justin Brownlee. 76-63. Inside March Madness presented by Buick. That's coming up next on one of the 4 networks on True TV. Inside March Madness presented by Buick.
What a day for us here, though.
Oh, my goodness.
Great play. But even though this game is not necessarily out of the woods, it was very competitive, I thought, early.
And then the rebounding edge. Foul call.
Wow, is that bringing it?
Paris Horn.
This is amazing. Boy, he wound up early, didn't he? Intercontinental here from Paris. Whew. Look at that. Amazing. Over 0-0. Robert at 6'10". Lumen large.
And so Paris Horn shoots a couple. $12-point difference.
Yeah, going for the shooter. Give him a little speed, give him a blow.
Another rebound, this one Elias Harris. Gray into the hands of Goodson.
Once again, spread the floor. So many good people to make decisions.
Trap action.
Ooh, his foot, I thought it was over that line. And
back outside. Foul called on Paris Horn. So this wonderful season for St. John's, in which they excited the passion for college basketball in New York City and the East, and indeed the country, might be coming to an end. 10 seniors in all in this group, 9 of whom played pivotal roles throughout the season. There's one of them, Brownlee. DJ Kennedy unable to play tonight, and a nice gesture now, Mike Dunlap, who's done so much. He's the fella, just put his hand in his pocket. He was twice a national champion at Metro State here in Denver in Division II. And he has meant a world of difference to Steve Lavin and his staff.
So well respected nationally, and of course Steve considers him such a valuable source as other guys on that band. They've got terrific staff. But, you know, they got a taste of it in New York. The school got a taste, the kids got a taste. And I just think, and I don't know the kids that are coming in, but everybody raves about the recruiting class, and they're young. I just think that Steve Lavin's going to do some job resurrecting what is a great institution and program. He's got it all.
You are watching CBS Sports Network.
The 16-game 4-network second round continues tomorrow with Texas and Oakland on CBS at noon, followed by Michigan and Tennessee on True TV. All these times are Eastern, of course, 12:30. Notre Dame and Akron on TBS at 1:30, and George Mason and Villanova on TNT at 2. You're in control of which game you want to watch. It all starts with the Infinity NCAA tip-off on True TV at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Well, it just takes a mistake.
2-on-1. Pull it back outside.
And Mark Few waving at him.
Yep.
Get it back.
And a foul is going to be called on, I believe it's Paris Horn.
Yes. You mentioned Kennedy, and what a heartbreak for this kid and this program. You know, do it for just what he's meant. And to be, I got a chance to chat with him just for a few minutes before the game, and he's making the most out of what has been a very difficult situation for him. I mean, he has done a great job with his ability to score, rebound, steal.
Well, we mentioned Mike Dunlap and Gene Cady, the other two coaches, assistants. So you see Cady in the middle. That's Rico Hines on the right of the screen. First recruit Steve Lavin signed at UCLA 16 years ago. And Tony Childs, the other member of the staff.
I remember you telling me years ago how much you were impressed by Rico.
Well,
when you met him at UCLA.
I was working a game with Billy Packer, and Rico came over and said hi. And then Billy watched the practice and just the intelligence with which he played the game and the effort he gave. And Billy said to me, I think he's going to be a great head coach someday.
And they rave about his individual instruction because he was with the Warriors. There he is.
Yep.
This is a tough time of a game. They are doing a great job of trying to stretch this thing out, though.
80-69. And Malik Booth, one of the seniors, has fouled out. So his teammates applaud and stand as he comes over to the sideline.
Yeah, he's not giving up, though. Time on the clock. They've been able to churn it over the year and force you into mistakes, but Gonzaga very well prepared this evening.
Yeah, I think it's a little too much of a hill to climb with 1:10 to go, and Gonzaga will take on BYU Saturday here in Denver. Brigham Young got 32 from Jimmer Fredette and defeated a tenacious Wofford Terrier team. UCLA did win. They take on Florida, and hugs and I bet a few tears before it's all over for the seniors at St. John's.
A wonderful ride. And what I love most about Steve Lavin's year is how he treated Norm Roberts, the former coach. You know, respected him, what he did. Norm's had contact through texting with the kids, not interfering, but just supporting them. He's a class act, and hopefully if he wants to get back in coaching, he would be a welcome asset to some program.
Hardy doesn't quite get it. The three and a foul in the backcourt with 1:01 remaining. We had close to a full house here in Denver for both sessions, many of whom have taken an early exit. And a career high for Marquise Carter of 22 points. He's at the line.
Yeah, I guess I owe Huey apologize. I was looking at some tapes saying, tell me about this kid. What are some of the good things? He said there's a lot of great things. And Mark is absolutely right. Nice addition. And early on, they weren't so sure how he would fit in.
A nice gesture here. Kevin Clark is coming on the floor now, number 42 for St. John's. The final 1:01. Malik Stiff picks it up. Little zone here at the final minute. Hardy. Another rebound for Stephen Gray. The rebounding edge right now. Gonzaga 42, St. John's 20.
Tough to overcome.
Gonzaga has also hit 54% for the game. It's down from 65 where it was last break. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
And they just spread it here, make you gamble a little bit.
And there's the jumper to beat the clock. And the follow from Mike Hart. The tip is in. There's the punctuation point.
Solid job. The Zags on top of their game.
Mark Few and the Zags win their 10th in a row. There's a shot off the glass from Dwight Hardy. And this one is in the book. The season ends for the Johnnies of St. John's. Gonzaga advances to take on Brigham Young. They win it 86-71. The tournament continues live now on True TV. Coverage at CBS tomorrow noon Eastern. For Bill Raftery, Leslie Visser.